Welcome back to Digiverse, guys. This is the first place deck for the second week of BT7 at Locals. Really surprising deck, one that has barely even glanced the meta in BT7, and I'm so glad it's actually making progress and actually hitting in to beat out tier 1 decks like the yellow-purple hybrid and other decks that are coming into play like black and blue hybrid. We'll just jump straight into it. So we're playing purple with 4 Demi-Mirror. Super important, drawing and discarding, getting the right cards in the grave, getting your Tamers in the trash too so you can bring them back with on-play effects. Rookies. 4 Gazi, really good, knocking out Bukimon so they don't get the memory gain off them. And then you can kill the Bukimons with 3 Elecmons. Really good anti-meta play this way. There's also other removal cards for Elecmons. People are just dumping out rookies like the red Searcher hybrid as well as the blue Searcher hybrids, so Elecmons can easily take them out too. And the Gazimons, really good for other cards that gain memory, like Koichi on deletion. Other rookie. 3 Cherubimon, drawing and discarding, really good to go over your Demi-Mirror to get to 2 cards on deletion and discarding 1, which is really nice. Gives you more options, gives you more variety, lets you see more cards and fix your hands when you need it.
And getting Tamers in the trash as well.
Getting Tamers in trash as well is also really good. For Bukimon, this guy's an asshole. I hate him so much, but he has a role in the deck. Searching top 5 for Tamers and a hybrid gets your game going, as well as the +2 memory on evolution over a Tamer is really good too. And your opponent always wants to remove it whenever it hits the board, so a lot of times people will be targeting this to take it off the board before it rolls back to your turn, so you can use it as like a dummy for people to hit it, and then you can do a different play with other cards that you have that they might not have seen because they were so focused on the Bukimon. On to your level 4s, it's all hybrids, 4 of the Louis and 4 of the Kaiser. These are usually evolving over your Tamers, because they are 2 cost to evolve up Tamers. This one gets retaliation when evolving over specifically Koichi, which is really nice, but only for the turn and your opponent's turn. So that's really good to surprise your opponent and hit into something really big to kill. And Louie's really good to go into level 5s and 6s, and also hit for game because it's only 2 cost surprise over a Tamer. These guys can also go over your regular rookies if you're desperate and you don't have Tamers, but they're much better going up Tamers. On level 5s, Digimon. Digimon puts in so much work in this deck. There is a really silly loop. I'll just show you right now, why not? So we have Louimon, Riki, and a Mat. If you evolve a sack like this is only 2 cost and 1 cost. So that's 3 cost over a Mat. You're starting on 3, so you can do this every single turn. You can swing with Riki. Riki will die hitting into a security or maybe a Digimon. It will, on deletion, play the Mat. Mat effect will search the Riki, and you have the same loop again you can do next turn, as long as you have a hybrid in hand to go. But if you already have the Riki in hand, you can get the hybrid instead and have that loop going. It's really sick play, especially playing the Mat. You will also be able to recycle something else from the trash if you already have both a hybrid and the Riki, and it gives you set to 3 memory next turn as well. Really nice. Also, if you already have a Mat in play, you can get a different Tamer, like Koichi, and Koichi on play effect will activate too. Other level 4s, other level 5s, we have Antimeta, really good to play Tamers from the trash. This will activate on play effects, so it can play the Koichi, or it can play other Tamers that are 3 cost or less. So it won't get the Mat, unfortunately, that is 4 cost, but it can get a bunch of your other Tamers, and the on play effects will activate too, so really nice. Digivolving that over a hybrid. Continuing on with the anti-meta theme, we have the NeoDevis. Hybrids are rampant in this format. I think every single match he played was a hybrid deck, or was at least playing some Tamers. So NeoDevi played a really strong role against those matches to stop your opponent from playing the Tamers and really making them really stuck in the way they play, because usually when they want to play passively, they just like put down Tamers. They can't do that with NeoDevi, so they have to find a different route, and a lot of that time, that different route is just wasting memory by playing a Tamer, or by playing, like hard playing a really high level guy, which is not an efficient way to play memory. So NeoDevi is really good for that. For Megas, 3 Cherubimon and 2 Anubis. Anubis didn't come up very often, but they have very similar effects for Cherubimon getting a Tamer and Anubis getting a guy on board. Anubis gives Rush, which is really nice to potentially OTK your opponent, especially evolving over something to gain Rush, hit for 2 with the Anubis and the Rush, and then evolving over Tamers to potentially go for game, hitting a bunch of security. So Anubis can get a bunch of rookies out. Elecmon's really good if you want to remove a Bukumon, Bukumon on your opponent's side of the board, because it has Rush, it can swing and hopefully suicide into your opponent's security. Tapimon, really good for just drawing a card, good at recycling stuff and floating. And Gazimon, also anti-Buku, but also can prevent other memory gaining effects, like if your opponent has memory boosters on the board. It sometimes comes up. Anubismon also combos with Cherubimon, because Cherubimon on deletion will play rookies for the same amount of Tamers you have on board. So this deck is super heavy on Tamers. Oftentimes on deletion you can get 3 or even 4 rookies. They will all get Rush if you have the Anubismon on board. So that's an easy way. If you have a lot of memory, you get these guys out. If the Anubismon dies, get a bunch of guys, they all have Rush, and you just OTK that way. It's really, really sick. Cherubimon, you are playing lots of Tamers, and a lot of time your opponent is just pumping out a bunch of rookies or level 4s, especially when they evolve over their hybrids and they just leave them on the board. You can kill all level 4s or lower to the equal amount of Tamers you have on evolution. So this will play a Tamer. If you when play Tamer, you activate the on play effects, and then you can just hop like 4 bodies if you have like 4 Tamers. It's honestly ridiculous, and the fact that it votes into more rookies on deletion is absolutely crazy. It's just nuts. It's just nuts. On the Tamers, 3 Koichi, draw 1 and then discard on play, and then as an inherent effect, gain 1 memory. Inherent effect is really nice for when your opponent slams into guys and then suddenly they lose memory, and then they don't have the right memory to pay for things. It's really nice, and a lot of the time you will get that extra memory so you can evolve into hybrids and then suicides. They actually beat me in this way to get that extra memory and evolve over hybrids and then just OTKing me. It was not fair. Tamers, continuing. Format, on play effect, grab a card, really nice. Really good to recycle your hybrids, as well as setting your memory to 3, really good. Get the on-play effect by lots of other cards, playing Tamers for free. 3 Kari is honestly ridiculous. If you can lock your opponent down, choking them on 1 or 2 memory, if you have multiple Karis, it means that they're only going to get 1 hit per turn. And by slowing them down in that way, forcing them to pass turn when they hit, you can stall out your opponent, force them to not get the value of Digimon they have in play, and then you just profit off that. It's just so good. It's just super, super good. It's also 3 costs, so you can play it off the Antimeta if it is in the trash. 2 of the mat, this guy can also be played off the Antimeta if in the trash. A lot of the time you are suiciding dudes into security, especially with the hybrids and all your rookies, so getting free memory off that when you suicide is just really, really good. The deck is just really, really good. Options. 2 of this card I can't pronounce. You're playing so many Tamers, so a lot of the time this guy can just wipe boards. Wiping boards, really easy to do. It's just nuts. Play it if you're playing purple and you're playing Tamers. And then finishing off, 2 of the Hell's Gate. This covers all removal, because this will remove level 5s and lower, and this will remove level 6s. You have lots of other removal as well in the form of the Cherubimon and in the form of Elecmon too. Also, we have Retaliation. We have Retaliation with the Kaiserleomon. So, lots and lots of different ways to remove bodies, especially if they put a Suzanomon on the board. that could potentially threaten you next turn, so easy ways to remove it. And also if they go really wide, you have easy ways to remove that too with the Sworza and the Cherubimon. So, all in all, this deck is just nuts. I'm so happy to have actually played a role in making this deck. I was deck testing this for about 5 hours with my friend, getting it really, really right. And the progress just shows that this deck is nuts and it's the perfect build. And if you want to build this deck for BT7, go for it. It's really great for an anti-meta pick, especially when your opponent especially when this deck isn't on your opponent's radar, because most of the time they will just be looking for those classic tier 1 decks like Yellow Hybrid or Red Hybrid. So yeah, I've got a bunch of videos already out of this just wasting people. Check those out, subscribe, I'll see you next time.